I've been using Aura for a few years now, and in the back of my mind, I've always wondered, because I've had really good luck with it, if I just got best case scenario, or is this everyone else's experience with Aura? So over the past 3 years or so, my team and I have all been rigorously testing different kinds of identity theft protection, from Aura to LifeLock to IDShield to IdentityForce and IdentityGuard. We've been evaluating their alert system, their functions, their response time, spending our own funds, and poring over data ourselves just to make sure that you guys are using the best product possible. This time around, though, we wanted to know how these products stack up with regular people. And by those, I mean ones that aren't poring over data or analyzing every bit of the function for these softwares. There was even one point that surprised me that we'll talk about at the end of the video. Let's explore the most common questions I have received. And if later you decide to sign up, don't forget to check out the description below for exclusive discount codes. It'll save you some money while helping support the channel at no cost to you. So one of the most common questions I have received or seen is Aura really worth it? And I have to say, from all the testing I've done over all these softwares, Aura is the only one that I continue to pay for and have monitored my identity. Something that has stood out about Aura is the fact that across all 3 of its plans, it consistently offers full spectrum credit monitoring from all 3 credit bureaus, which is super essential. Whereas in other situations, I have had to pay extra to unlock full monitoring. Aura offers that right off the bat. Aura's alerts are super fast, and I mean really fast. I have gotten done with credit checks on myself, and before the company ever hangs up, I've had my alert go off immediately from Aura, which is crazy fast compared to other companies where it usually takes 24 hours or a full day or sometimes even longer. From their dashboard, I can lock my Experian credit, which is super essential. As things get checked, I can just unlock and lock without having to worry about anything. The other thing is it covers up to 30 data broker sites, meaning that my data is off the internet for at least 30 sites, which is super cool because that's less spam, less potential calls that I may be getting, which is a huge bonus. Customer service with Aura is also top-notch. It's a US-based 24/7 call center with representatives that actually know what they're talking about and are informed, not just reading a script. When I called, one of the representatives even offered to stay on the phone with me while I talked through my bank with something that I wanted to discuss, which is over the top and going above and beyond. Their insurance coverage is solid too. I mean, you get $1 million of coverage per adult under the plan, which is untouchable when you compare it to other services where you need to unlock tiers in order to get that kind of coverage. This covers things like stolen funds, legal fees, and in some cases, childcare expenses, which is essential if you're dealing with identity theft and a parent as well. If you have higher assets to protect, Aura allows you to add up to $5 million of insurance coverage for only an extra $4 a month. Now, throughout my research, I do like to stay as unbiased as possible. And to do this, well, I took to Reddit because, well, it's Reddit. And I expected to go in finding a lot of complaints about Aura. As I was poring over forums, to my surprise, a lot of people had really good things to say about Aura. Solid credit monitoring, fast alerts, and some of them even got notified about weird activities almost instantly, which lines up with what I found with Aura as well. A lot of people like that Aura also bundles many things together. So you get VPN, password management, as well as antivirus software, which is nice because again, you don't have to pay different tiers to unlock these things. They just bundle them all together. I want to go back to the interface part, as I feel like this is something super important. You know, a dashboard that is easy to navigate, understandable, and things like that can make or break a program. I mean, the program can be really good, but if you don't know where to go or find the information, then it's a little bit useless, you know? Aura has a very clean and easy to navigate dashboard. The other thing that people mentioned on these forums was the fact that there was 24/7 US-based customer support, as well as data broker removal services, which were a big plus. That said, though, that doesn't mean that a software like this doesn't come with its critics. And a lot of the conversation that had negative connotations circled around its extra user tools. So let's talk a little bit more about that. Some of the things mentioned were the VPNs not having enough server options, the password managers not logging or saving passwords correctly, as well as the antivirus program sometimes making their computers lag or even crash. So again, the identity theft protection side gets good marks, but the bundled security tools might not hold up. To me, it's kind of an overall plus for Aura's camp. And by this I mean, this is why Aura is my dedicated identity theft protection tool, not my VPN or password manager for go-to. The last thing I want to mention is support. And this is where mixed reviews happen, with some users reporting headaches in having reps that didn't answer their questions, or long hold times, or even having trouble canceling certain things. I mean, I just want to remind you, every time I've called, I haven't had an issue. I know that's not always going to be the case. You don't know what kind of rep you're going to get. You don't know what kind of day they're having. And so I understand the review. It's just, for me, I haven't had that experience. Now, while some people have praised Aura's alert system, a few users did get a mixed bag. Some users experiencing not getting alerts to certain breaches, while other users claiming that Aura was overly sensitive and not alerting them appropriately, but alerting them to everything, even normal day-to-day transactions. All things considered, Aura's criticisms don't really deter me from using it. I mean, there were some stories that did raise some eyebrows because, again, my critical brain looked at these stories and thought, well, could this have been user error? I mean, regardless, this is why Aura is my #1 pick. It's just very well balanced, it works, and to me, it's one of the best programs out there. But let's take a look at my #2, which is LifeLock. So the question is, does LifeLock actually protect you? LifeLock does have a reputation. It's got heavy advertisement, and it has the Norton antivirus name behind it as well. If you get their top tier plan, you get a huge bundle. You get VPN, you get malware protection, the identity theft protection as well, and monitoring to all 3 credit bureaus. So if you're wanting a huge Norton bundle that includes VPN and antivirus, well, LifeLock is for you then. The downsides with LifeLock are hard to ignore. If you get their basic plan, you only get monitoring to 1 credit bureau. You also only get $25,000 of insurance coverage. With the dark web monitoring, LifeLock does leave a lot to be desired of. Aura picked up breaches that LifeLock never even mentioned, so those things are very important to me and my identity. To get full coverage, you do have to pay top tier dollar, which to me is a downside for LifeLock. The other thing is their support was a lot left to be desired of, meaning there was a phone tree that I got dragged on. There was a long hold time in most situations. And to me, long hold times are essential when you're trying to fix an identity theft situation. Now, the reviews are mixed. There were people that I was reading that had nothing but praise to say about LifeLock. But overall, that is not what I read as a mass. In some situations, there were people that experienced identity theft that were actively subscribed to LifeLock, but never received any alerts, which is very concerning. Now, while I can't independently verify those stories, they were more consistent with LifeLock than with Aura, suggesting that there is some gap in coverage with LifeLock. People also point to LifeLock's own history of data breaches as a concern, as well as the overprice that I've been talking about, where you need to pay way more in order to unlock all of its features. LifeLock can be effective if you pay for the top tier plan. Again, if you're already in the Norton ecosystem, then adding LifeLock would make sense. But if you're starting fresh, then I would recommend just going with Aura. Now, here's a question that surprised me. Can I protect myself for free? And initially, I have to say, I was very, very skeptical. Is that something that's possible? Because I mean, these companies shell out a lot of money for their tools, access to the credit bureaus, training their support team. So DIY, what would that look like? So the first thing you want to do is freeze your credit report to all 3 credit bureaus. That is the biggest and most important thing you can start with. Next, you can go to Credit Karma, where they offer free credit monitoring. The other thing you can do is add alerts to your bank or create an IRS IP PIN. After that, of course, with certain safety things, you create two-factor authentication, and you can even add a VPN on top of that. All of this, and you have a pretty solid system, where some users are even saying that doing this ecosystem will create a better system than most standalone products that you can purchase. It's true, most identity theft services aren't doing anything that you can't piece together. But here's the catch: time. All of this will cost you time, as well as effort and technical know-how. The other thing is, if the worst does happen, you have no insurance, you have no expert to call, and there's no recovery support process. You're just using a lot of tools, hoping that you catch something before it snowballs into something bigger. At the very minimum, I recommend a hybrid approach. Use the free stuff all you want, but I'd rather cancel my Netflix before I cancel my Aura plan. If the worst does happen, I have insurance coverage and there's someone to call to help me resolve the issue. If you're ready to take action, don't forget to check out the description below. It'll save you some money on Aura and LifeLock. Again, supporting the channel at no cost to you while saving you some money. I'd love to hear about your experiences. But most importantly, please don't delay on protecting your identity. It is so important and essential. Whether you choose a service like Aura, LifeLock, or doing it yourself, just get started. It's super important and it's peace of mind. Stay safe out there. And again, this is Ro, and we'll see you on the next video.